G'day guys and welcome to EV News Weekly by Tesla Red. As I mentioned, actually it's episode 19, 27 October 2024. So as I mentioned last week, look, we've got a special guest this week. We'll bring on to stage. Grumpy Old Man. Grumpy is he's got his own channel, obviously. Grumpy Old Man with an EV. And he was one of the channels I watched, in my early days before I took the EV journey. When I was looking at purchasing an EV, I love his no BS approach. Very down to earth, and has some really good stuff out there. There's one I saw today showing the first electric truck to travel around the country. He did an interview with that driver. Grumpy, welcome to the channel.
Thank you very much, Jules, for having me. Yeah, that first electric truck around Australia with John Edwards, part one went up 2 days ago, I think, and part two is ready to go. I'll upload it tonight.
Fantastic. So, guys who haven't seen it, make sure you jump on there and check that one out. It's a very interesting story of the first truck EV to go around Australia. So I guess to start off with, sorry,
John Edwards. I was going to say John Edwards. He's an amazing guy. What he comes up with, just brilliant.
Yeah, it was definitely interesting to hear him talk about the experience. So I guess to start off with, I'd like to hear a little bit about your EV journey and what got you into them, what got you into content creation and that kind of stuff as well.
Yeah, well, look, my EV journey started quite a few years ago. I wanted to get an EV, and in Australia back then, the only EV available was a Tesla, and it was a Model S or a Model X. And I said to my wife, we've got to go down this journey. Look, and she says, how much is that? And I go, it was only $190,000. And she goes, you can buy a bloody house for that. You're not getting one. So in order, happy wife, happy life, I didn't buy one. But I was really wanting to go down that track. And eventually I went out, and I bought an Outlander PHEV, a Mitsubishi Outlander plug-in hybrid EV, which had got a CHAdeMO plug. I mean, at that point in time, I knew bugger all. And I kept that for a while. And then I went to a car thing where they'd got all these old cars. And there were Teslas there. And they got a Model 3. They got quite a few Model 3s. And I go, what? When did these come into play? And they go, oh, we've only just picked them up yesterday, or I picked mine up this morning, and so on. So I sat in one and I go, bloody hell, this is nice. So I drove home, went on the internet and ordered one, and it came within a couple of months on the next ship. So that was, well, the first year that Model 3s came into Australia. Was that 6 years ago? 5, something like that. Yeah. Anyway, yeah. So that's when I got my first Model 3, and then when the Model Y came out, which was now just over 2 years ago, I was having trouble. I got bad arthritis in my spine. Actually, my doctor said it's not arthritis; it's early onset rigor mortis. But still, so I was having great difficulty getting in and out of not only the Model 3, but any small saloon car. So I thought, I've got to get an SUV. And back then, there was the Atto 3 from BYD, was not yet in the country, but it was available to order. And that was it. And there was the talk of the Model Y. So I put an order in for an Atto 3, put my $1,000 deposit on. And that was in February 2.5 years ago. And some months later, I was on holiday in Europe, and I realized that the Model Y was going to come in to be ordered. And I worked out that it was going to be 1 o'clock in the morning, my time, where I was in Europe. So I got up at 1 o'clock, went onto the Tesla Australia website and go click. No, I can't order it yet. I can't order it yet. And I was sitting there and I was clicking refresh and fell asleep. And 2 or 3 hours later, I woke up and refreshed. Oh, I can order. So I ordered it. And I got one that came in on the very first ship with Model Y. So that was, and I got that, just over 2 years ago, and sold my Model 3. So I've been in Teslas for the last, 5 or 6 years. And I've got my Model Y, and you can probably see it blue.
Is it there? Yep.
Yeah, that's
Perfect,
not it.
yeah.
That's off the Tesla
okay.
website. But so yeah, I mean, it's actually, if you look on each side of that, that is actually my Tesla there.
Right.
When I picked it up, the Model Y. And I just love it. I think it's a great car. Elon, now that's a different kettle of fish. We won't go there, but the actual car, brilliant.
So your 3 would have been one of the Fremont ones?
Oh, it was a Fremont one, yes.
Yeah. So I think that's
and the Model Y is from, yeah, the Model Y is from Shanghai.
Yeah.
And
did you have any problems with the 3?
Sorry?
Did you have any problems with the 3? I know there was a lot of build quality issues back then in the early ones.
No, look, honestly, I mean, comparing the build quality, the Model Y has got better build quality than the Model 3. But I really didn't have any problems. There was a few little odd gaps that weren't quite even. But, I mean, my OCD only kicked in when I looked and go, oh, yes, I remember that. No. But otherwise, it wasn't all that bad. So, look, I was very happy with the Model 3. It had got the old 50 kilowatt nickel NCM aluminium battery that Tesla were doing back then from Fremont. But it was a bloody good car. It had got a lot of poke in it for something like that. I mean, it was, back then, it was about supposedly 5.5 seconds. 0 to 100, but mine seemed to do it a little bit quicker than that. But now the Model Y is 6.5 or 6.9. It's still no slouch.
That's still quick. That's still very quick. Yeah.
Yeah.
Before we go any further, I'll just say good day to a few of the viewers here. We had a bit of a discussion before the stream even went live. I see Tom here has just done a good trip in his Model 3 rear-wheel drive.
Well done, Tom.
That's awesome. Yeah, look, even the rear-wheel drive has got plenty of range for long road trips.
The M3 Highland, that looks a lot better than the original one that I had. Yeah,
that's what I've got as well. The Highland. I did the Canberra to Melbourne to the Barossa and back, and that, yeah, exactly right. The rear-wheel drive, even for those sorts of trips, is a perfect car. I'd love to hear more about that inland route, Tom, at some point.
Yeah, look, I'm actually going on a road trip myself in a week. I live in south of Perth, and I'm going up to Perth and down to Kalgoorlie, it's a nearly 650 kilometre journey. So I mean, I've done journeys similar, up to 400 k's before, but not a 650 kilometre one in this country.
I see there's more charging stations being built in Western Australia now. There's a couple there that's come up recently.
Thank goodness. That was one of my bugbears. And I did mention it in a few videos in my YouTube channel. But now they are getting there. Tesla still won't install too many superchargers here. I think we've got 5 sites now. When I first got mine, there was 1.
Yeah. I mean, we're pretty spoiled here on the East Coast, but it's good to see that the West Coast is starting to get some, and Tasmania as well.
Yeah, they're spoilt in America. I was in America not more than 2 months ago, and I hired a Model Y with FSD. It was brilliant. And it drove me for 2.5 hours to my destination from the airport. And I had to intervene once for safety purposes because it tried to kill me and the wife. But otherwise, yeah. Oh, Elon's on tonight, is he? Thanks,
well, look, I had to bump Elon for a grumpy. I mean, it's he wanted to come on, but I had a special guest. So sorry, Elon.
Well, I mean, I'll go and you can have Elon on if you like.
All good, all good. Hey, Kev, good to see you. Ethan, welcome. Good to see you.
Hello, everybody.
And Kylie, good to see you, Kylie. And Hal's there as well. We saw him before. I know Kylie's just had a bad experience.
Oh, dear.
She doesn't live anywhere near a Tesla service center, unfortunately, so I had to go on a long road trip on the Bruce Highway up north there to get her windscreen repaired, and unfortunately had her roof get cracked on the way back. So that's pretty unfortunate.
Oh, no. I feel sorry for you, Kylie.
That's, really shocking. Unfortunately, the Bruce Highway is pretty crap for that sort of thing. And she's got a lovely.
I've had a cracked windscreen on my Model Y that I had to fix, but the Tesla service center is only about 45 minutes up the road for me.
Yeah, she's got a lovely wrapped Model 3 that looks awesome. I've had it on the channel before. So yeah, it's a real shame to hear that. Hopefully, we can get it fixed shortly. Some more comments here. Yeah, we did the Great Ocean Road as well. It was a good trip. Yep, Port Augusta, I'll have that on shortly. I've got a picture of that. Hey, Dronis, how you going? And hey, Dr. Byron. All right. So, yeah, look, interested to hear on how you got into producing content, Grumpy.
Me? Well, look, I got into the Model 3s and I'd had that for a year or two. And then because I'd studied it and what have you before I got it, there was a lot of people who were then buying Model 3. Well, not a lot, but there were a few who were buying Teslas or owning Teslas that were struggling. And I was asked by the Tesla Owners Club of WA to every now and again go out and help people, or they were stranded or what have you. You know, one guy got into his garage with 0% and then couldn't get into his car. He hadn't bricked his battery, thank you. So I thought, look, there's a need here for some sort of assistance and so on. So that's why I started the channel initially. But because I'm an idiot, I was also interested in renewable climate change, and I was always harping on about it. Went and saw our local member who's one of the ministers for environment or something in their state parliament here. So I thought, well, and I gradually expanded it to include all electric vehicles, renewables and climate change and all that sort of thing. So that's why, every now and again, I do some stories on that. And look, I getting some feedback from people saying I'm an idiot, and they're probably right.
Excellent.
But at my age, and by the way, Jules, I must compliment you on your haircut. And at my age, I've given all the I won't say the word that I ever had, so I've got nothing left, and really, I don't give a monkey's.
Mm-hmm. Excellent. Yeah, look, there's a lot of fun out there, so I think it's good to have people producing content to get the real fact out there.
I do like the fun.
And that's why, I'm happy to have people on there that are producing content and try and help them promote their channels. And hopefully you'll get a couple of subscribers out of it. I saw Kev subscribe to you just now, so that's great.
Yes, everybody who's watching now, you must go and subscribe to my channel, or I'm going to come around and visit you.
There it is there.
Just go to YouTube and search Grumpy Old Man and his EV.
Yes, please do. Definitely. So yeah, look, I did see your video on the FSD as well. That's an interesting story. Do you have FSD in your car?
I've got enhanced autopilot on mine. When I had the Model 3, I bought it and I paid straight away for FSD because, according to Elon, it was coming in 2 weeks.
Yep.
I'm still waiting. But I mean, fortunately, back then it was only about $2,500. So now I paid $5,000 for the enhanced autopilot. And if we ever get FSD, which I absolutely love, having tried it for real in America, then I'll pay the other $5,000. And yes, Electric Kev, that M guy, he actually is sponsored and paid by fossil fuel companies.
Yeah, I saw a video, one of the American channels that do they sort of do a rebuttal and all these photo items. They did one on his
Ben Sullins
channel.
does.
That's
Ben
it.
Sullins did one on this idiot.
That's a good video. Yeah. It puts a bit of the real facts in there and debunks all the crap. Excellent. Good to see you, Hal.
Oh, thank you very much, Hal.
All right. So just saw that Tesla have brought back talking about FSD, the FSD transfer. So if you are looking at a new car, if you do it by the end of the year, you can transfer FSD.
Yeah, is that in all countries?
I know it's in the US and Australia now. I don't know about other
good.
countries, but definitely in Australia. Yeah, I got that email during the week. Even though my car's not even 12 months old, so I won't be upgrading, obviously. But certainly I know a few people are taking advantage of it, so it's good to see. So we had the Tesla earnings during the week. I don't know if everyone caught that, but there were some really interesting tidbits that came out of that. They had a very strong quarter. Definitely did a lot better than expected in a lot of areas. But one of the biggest bits of news that came out of it is that they actually have been running a ride-hailing service for their employees throughout San Francisco. So they've got the app. So this app that we saw this several months ago, is actually the app they're using for their employees to catch robotaxi type services in San Francisco with a safety driver, though.
Yeah, they've got to have a safety driver.
Correct. Yeah, but so that was a bit of a surprise. No one knew that was actually happening. But this app, looks great. You can set temperatures. You can set the music you want when it picks you up. California have a rule for autonomous operations where they need a certain number of hours with the safety driver before the safety driver can be removed. So this will definitely help. They've obviously already racked up, I don't know how many, but if it's been running a few months, that's a good news piece.
I think Elon announced that it will be happening in California and Texas to start off with. They'll eventually end up with their robo-taxi.
Yes. Yeah. So separate to this, there's a video that appeared in the last few days where one of the Palo Alto officials in California, they confirmed they're in discussions with Tesla regarding cybercab operations. They want to use it to actually replace buses because their buses are underutilized and not really efficient. So they want to actually get Tesla in there to run cybercabs to replace their buses. So apparently they went to the 10th of the 10th event and they loved it. They were raving about Tesla and it was really interesting. And as awesome as that sounds, I mean, it sounds like they're pretty close. By the comments Elon made, it sounds like they're even closer in Texas. So the predictions of being able to start operations early next year is seen to be pretty, solid.
Yeah, it's interesting. I look forward to something like that happening here.
Absolutely, yeah. I think it's going to be a little way away here, especially for a full robotaxi type operation.
Well, Australia is probably the most bureaucratic country in the world with the most red tape that wraps everything up for years and years and years.
Definitely. And look, they've got to get the right-hand drive. They haven't released any sort of FSD yet in a right-hand drive market. So I think China will be the next cab off the rank, and that's looking like it's happening. It's getting pretty close. Then Europe, and we tend to sort of follow Europe, sometimes fairly quickly, sometimes less quickly. So to get FSD supervised, I think if Europe happens early next year, then first half of next year, towards the end of the first half might be a realistic type frame, but it'll depend on when that happens. But definitely, like you, Grumpy, I'm definitely keen for it. I've seen a lot of how it goes in the States, and it is looking fantastic.
Yeah, well, after first-hand experience, it's lovely. I only got 12.3.6, and I think they're up to 12.5, maybe 12.6 coming out soon. But 12.3.6 was just mind-blowing.
Yeah, look, even enhanced autopilot, I use it all the time when I'm doing a long trip. I drive from Canberra to Brisbane quite often. I'm doing it again in a week or so. And look, it's just reduces fatigue so much. It's fantastic. Other bits and pieces that came out of that, cost of goods per vehicle have come down to the lowest level ever. The preparations are ongoing for their new vehicles, including the more affordable models, which should be launching in the first half of next year. Elon confirmed that in the event of Hardware 3 not being able to do full FSD, it'll be upgraded at no cost for those who have purchased it. Again, that's nothing new, but there's been a lot of fudsters out there that have been trying to push the narrative that these cars with Hardware 3 are not going to be able to support it. Cybertruck, they've already made that profitable. They're only a third of the way into the ramp for that. It's now opening up to non-foundation orders. But to really turn that into a profitable line so quickly is a massive, massive hit to other manufacturers who have been for years still trying to make a profitable EV. Did you get to check out the Cybertruck over there, Grumpy?
I did. I got to sit in one. I didn't get a test drive because I was in New York. I test drove a Rivian, and I sat in a Lucid, and I sat in the Cybertruck. The Cybertruck is a lot bigger than you think.
Yes.
It's about 1.8 meters tall at the center point. And it's quite wide. So look, I'm not sure. My wife says no. So as I said, happy wife, happy life. If it comes here, it doesn't look like I'm going to be getting one. But I got to sit in it, and I test drove, as I said, a Rivian R1S, and I like that. That's very nice.
Yeah, the Rivian looks good too. Yeah. The only problem there is they still haven't been able to get profitable, and the amount of money they're losing is
they're not profitable. Ridiculous. No. But I mean, it's amazing that the Cybertruck has become profitable already. And what amazed me about this presentation of the financial statements was normally what you expect is the day after the shares do a nosedive, but they skyrocketed. They went up 20-25%. They hit basically almost $270 today.
Tell me about it. I was sitting there.
219 the day before they did their financial statements.
I was sitting there with bit of money ready to go to buy some more shares, and I was expecting exactly that all the analysts would be unhappy that they didn't get the answers they wanted and the shares would drive. But unfortunately, no, I didn't get to buy them.
You didn't buy any more. Oh, well.
No, I was waiting for that drop, but it just skyrocketed, so I held off. But yeah, you're right. That is normally the case on these sorts of earnings calls. So my last bits there, the ability to produce the 4680 at a cost cheaper than any dedicated battery manufacturer in the US. Obviously not cheaper than China yet, but the ability to make those sort of breakthroughs. I mean, the dedicated battery manufacturers have been trying to perfect that dry cathode, dry cell process for years, and Tesla's managed to do it. But it's not even their primary focus. I mean, they're doing all these things that are groundbreaking in secondary and tertiary, areas that they're not even really focused on. So that's another big bit of news. And the fact they're heading towards 100 gigawatts of stationary storage deliveries per year with their new megapack factory. So there's a lot of upside there that we're looking at, and looks like Tesla's going to be around for quite a while yet. Yeah, that's right. And yep, please hit that like button, and also go and subscribe to Grumpy's channel as well.
Don't forget, you got to subscribe to Jules's Tesla Red Jules channel.
Yes, please. So yeah, look, this is the Cybertruck in Adelaide. This is courtesy of Electric Kev here. Had a confirmation yesterday that's now on the Gold Coast. So as expected, it's going up to Queensland and spending a bit of time up there. I don't have any information on what it was going to do after Queensland. Presumably it might leave the country, but who knows?
Now, it was in Western Australia, where I'm based, recently, yes, but no one was allowed to open the door and sit in it. Is that the case around the rest of the country?
I think most of the country that was the case, yeah. I got to see it in Canberra as part of the Toka Owners Club, and they did a special behind the scenes viewing for us, where they opened it all up for us. So I've actually got a video on the channel somewhere with all the tonneau cover opening up and that kind of stuff.
Yeah, because I saw it in Tesla in New York, and opened the doors. I got the front open. I moved the tonneau cover up and down, and yeah, they allowed me to play with it.
Yeah, they're definitely very protective here. They weren't letting many people do anything at all in most places they went to. So, but if you're in Queensland, I'm assuming it's going to Brisbane shortly, then please definitely check it out. Like Grumpy said, when you see it in person, it's just completely different to seeing pictures. The scale of it is quite amazing. Yeah, I saw some dirty fingerprints on it there, Kylie.
They wouldn't open the doors. Yeah, I got one better than you, Kylie.
Okay, so the next one here is from Harold Murphy. Some more EV drivers tackling the circumnavigation of the country while towing a caravan. So there's 3 of them now.
Yep, Harold's a WA guy.
Yes. He just likes to do a lot of trips around Australia. I've seen him do quite a few.
He's got the most trips around Australia and towing his caravan. He's got that pop top there with he's put solar panels on it, and I think it's a 13 or 11.5 kilowatt hour battery on it. Yeah, so he's all ready to go anywhere.
Yeah, he does a fantastic job there, really sort of showing that range isn't that much of an issue with EVs, even though they are pop tops and not a full caravan, obviously. But yeah, people don't think you can do this sort of stuff.
Oh, okay, Kylie.
You got to see. Okay, this one came through from Jim Pine. Just a bit of a funny one. The service station there is all shut off, but the Model Y is happily charging over here. So I quite often hear that line from the EV haters that, what if the power goes out? What are you going to do? You can't charge. But not only are all the fuel pumps completely dependent on power, they're also dependent on the whole global supply chain. You know, mine the oil, refine it, deliver it, dispense it. There's just so many geopolitical and environmental factors that can disrupt a supply chain, let alone just the failures at pumps.
If you just look at what happened in Florida recently with the terrible storms that went through, people were queuing for petrol, and then all the petrol stations, well, not all of them, but many of them ran out. So people couldn't get any petrol. But people were there with their Teslas and what have you, charging at the superchargers, charging at home quite happily, and then got full tanks and off they went. So you are actually probably better off with an electric vehicle.
Yeah, that argument just becomes so silly. It's you got that one little failure point that will also affect fuel, when fuel's got so many other failure points. Not only just in the fact that it can fail, but whenever there's global tensions, there's disruptions in supply chains, the price goes skyrocketing. And the fact that with an EV, if anything does go wrong, you do have a natural disaster or something, you're much more likely to be at or near 100%, because you're charging at home. There's no effort in charging. You plug it in at night. So when something goes wrong, the car's more likely to not need filling up. And then you've got solar. You've got all these different various sources of power you can get, or you can drive a couple hundred kilometres, and get charged up if you need to, really. So thanks for taking that pick.
Yeah, I've got a problem at home because now we're coming into summer. We've had lovely hot sunny days here. I've got a problem. I don't know what to do with all these spare electrons except give them back to the grid at a pathetic rate. My car's sitting in the garage once again at 100%.
Exactly, yeah. And the last few weeks I've been charging for nothing, or even getting paid to charge. I'm on a wholesale rate, but it goes negative. So I can actually get paid to charge the car. So
we don't have that over here. We've got a government monopoly.
Yeah, that's a shame. Yeah, good point, Jeff. They're all Australian made. You aren't paying the Middle Eastern conglomerates. You're not at the behest of whatever happens with shipping chains and shipping channels. So yeah, thanks, Jim Pine, for taking us in that one. And please, if you've got any pictures or stuff you want to tag us on X, my Tesla Red Jules is the tagline there underneath my name. Please do. And this one is also courtesy of Jim Pine. Some news that Ausgrid apparently is on a union go slow, which is holding up a bunch of projects, including some of the charging sites on the New South Wales Central Coast. They were supposed to be almost ready in September, but that's apparently causing some problems at the moment. So some of those charging sites that have been sitting there and not getting completed, that's the reason for it.
Sorry, I missed that. What was the reason? Bureaucracy?
Sorry, Ausgrid apparently is on a union go slow. Strike. Yeah. So,
over here in WA, our state government has been putting in the WA EV network. So they've been putting it all the way around the coast and through the middle and across the Nullarbor.
Excellent.
Charges every 200 kilometres roughly. The girl who was in charge of the Synergy area, her main problem was getting councils and red tape and so on to allow the installation. And no, you can't put it there. You've got to put it here. And but there's no power there. There was a lot of negotiations happening.
I know a couple of my viewers have tried to get councils on board, and I know one in South Australia particularly has had a lot of pushback from councils that just don't understand EVs, I don't think. It's a shame. So another one, this is Narrabri. We showed this, we had the plans for it last week, and already progressing well. We've got basically the charger starting to go in. Also, we're interested to note there the wall charger they've got next to the supercharger. Now, I've noticed this on a few of the recent installations, particularly where they've got the example I've got is Budrum Gigafactory there. They installed, I think, 6 superchargers and 6 wall chargers. So people who are going to be spending a bit of time and going, visiting the Gigafactory can charge up slower, not take up one of the superchargers that somebody who's just passing through might want to use. So I think that's a really, really good thing. I don't know how this one's going to work because it's all both going to one stall, but in other examples, they're actually spaced out, so you can use either or. So that's interesting.
Our WAEV network that the government put in, there was a few things that actually it was Harold Murphy who got all this done. They had to have a backup destination charger in case the superchargers or the fast DC chargers decided to go bung, which they tend to do, especially if they're tritium. The other thing that they've done, which was really good, was yes, you can use your ChargeFox RFID card or the app, but they've put in a credit card reader, debit card reader, so you can just tap your card and go and pay like that, which was far better.
Yeah, that's look, just that reliability is the biggest issue, and it's obviously one of the advantages we have with Tesla. Their superchargers are just so reliable. But when you go to some of the other sites, and especially where they've got only 2 chargers, and their reliability isn't great, that can certainly cause problems. But it's I like this idea of having a slower charger, especially if it's cheaper as well. Because a lot of times when I'm going on a road trip, you'll have lunch or dinner, and the car's ready. When you haven't even started eating your lunch, it's so quick these days that to charge up that you're getting rushed to leave because the car's ready to go. You don't want to hold other people up, so it's good.
And then you're getting charged idle fees if you're not careful.
That's right. Yeah, if you sit there with 100%, you're going to get charged idle fees. So most times I've been lucky. There's only been 1 or 2 cars at every site I've been to, but it's certainly, I find the charging is, I probably have to wait, on a road trip I do from here to Brisbane, I might wait 5 minutes for charging. That's it. Every other time the car's ready before I am. So it's good sometimes to have that slower charging. Yeah, agree. People think they need, 800 or 1,000 kilometre range in an EV. It's really not necessary. I think to drive safely on a road trip, you're stopping every 2 or 3 hours anyway. You might as well charge while you stop and just grab a coffee or whatever you need to do.
Yeah, I personally, at my age, I've got a 2-hour bladder.
Yeah, for sure. And just for safety as well. I mean, 2 to 3 hours is about the limit.
Yeah. So, in fact, at the video that I'm putting up tonight, which was the part 2 of the interview I did with John, the first electric truck around Australia, right at the end, we actually did discuss, people who need 1,000 kilometres and they want to tow their 10-ton caravan. Well, if you're going to do that for 1 or 2 weeks a year, buy an electric vehicle and then go and hire a Toyota Land Cruiser for those 2 weeks and do it. I mean, you're not going to need it every day.
Your average trip's like 30 kilometres, maybe 50 kilometres at the most. So if you're dragging around a battery that's capable of 1,000 kilometres, it's just an extra weight dragging around for no reason. It's just the efficiency just isn't worth it. And if you don't need to drive 1,000 kilometres, you need to have brakes. And look, the charging's so fast these days that those brakes will more than enough get you more than enough time to charge up for what you need for the next trip.
Agreed.
All right, this one here is some great detective work by one of our viewers, Mark, who's Mower999 on the TMC forums, Tesla Motor Club forums. He likes to dig through development applications and find these new charging sites before anyone else does. This one's at Coolac in New South Wales. It's a 12-stall supercharger site with space for 8 more, so it will go up to 20 stalls. It's right next to the pub, which is going to get redeveloped. So another one of those great sites for a lunch or dinner stop. Hopefully they might even offer some breakfast options, some coffee, that kind of stuff.
You won't have time for lunch if it's a supercharger. Sorry.
Yeah.
I stopped at the one and only supercharger. This is many years ago, and I got my first Model 3. And I plugged it in, went into the restroom, came out, was standing in the queue to order a coffee, and my phone's telling me you better go back and move your car. It's fully charged. Didn't even have time to order the coffee.
I've had exactly that several times, but I've been lucky because most times I've done road trips. I've been the only car, or it's been one or two cars at a 15-stall site or something like that. So in those cases, I'm happy to leave it and just keep monitoring the site, make sure it doesn't fill up. But as soon as it starts filling up, then I have to go and move the car. Yeah, for sure. Hey, Lewis, good to see you. That's a good one. That's probably going to replace Gundagai. I don't know if they'll keep Gundagai going, but it's definitely going to be well used on that route. And another one of the great development application detective work. This one is Richard V on the Tesla Motor Club forums. And this one's Goulburn. So this is going to be right next to the big Merino. So there's an existing site in Goulburn, which is a pretty small site, and it's a fair way off the highway. This one is obviously right on the highway. This is a 20-stall site, so another massive site with good food access, good amenities, and right off the highway.
I'm jealous. Over here in WA, we've got a couple of sites with 6 stalls and a couple of sites with 3 stalls. Nothing that large.
Yeah, look, hopefully they'll keep building them out there. But like I said, we definitely are very spoilt in the East Coast, at least up till Mackay-ish. Mackay's got theirs building still at the moment. But as far as Tesla superchargers, we are very well spoilt, and it's so easy to do any trip along the East Coast and even out to Adelaide currently. So hopefully they'll keep building them out.
Now, one thing that they do not do very well, and that is cater for disabled people.
I have noticed, and it was one of these development applications, actually, I think it was the previous one. They actually did have a couple of stalls that had signage on them saying, please use these last, reserved for disabled as a priority, or something along those lines. They're a little bit bigger stalls.
I was about to say they need to be wider because I've seen disabled people in wheelchairs with an EV, and it's not good for them.
Correct, yeah. So it looks like they are starting to think about it, and also trailers, that kind of stuff, having some pull-through sites where trailers can get in.
Yes.
Okay, so Port Augusta, someone mentioned earlier. This is now online. This is the photo from Tesla. This is one of those ones we talked about last week, which is a prefab sled that they just bring the whole thing out the back of a truck already built and just basically pop it into the concrete and away they go. So there's 2 of those now. Bordertown was the other one. So that the first time they've used these types of sleds in Australia to quickly build up a supercharging site. Those went in very quickly too, so that's great to see. And last one for our new superchargers. This is Alexandria, also open now, and it's also open to non-Teslas from day one. Use Kylie, who's actually taken quite a few pictures of the Mackay one for us. So it was due to go this month. Waiting on cable routing inspection. Okay. Yeah, it looks like Tesla's done all their stuff there. It looks like it's pretty close to ready to go. Obviously waiting on the power stuff to get sorted out. Thanks for the information. So yeah, look, other news. Y is looking to become, or it did become the bestseller in Europe again in September. There are actually 8,000 sales in front of second place, so that's good to see. We're definitely looking like it'll be the best-selling car in the world again this year, and looking on track to be the best-selling car in America for the first time. It will be interesting, though, as I said last week, the announcement, or sort of the leaks about the Model Y Juniper may hit those sales towards the end of this year. It'll be interesting to see how that affects things. Yeah, okay. Thanks, Mark. Yeah, look, obviously some gremlins in the system. Hopefully they get that sorted out quickly and they match the normal reliability.
Once they iron out the gremlins, Tesla superchargers are very reliable.
Yeah, that's right. It's stuff I've never had a problem yet. I've had problems with other chargers, even though I rarely use other chargers. But yeah, the Tesla ones, it's just so easy. You plug in and you don't have to worry about anything. Does it all for you. Yeah, I saw that, Hal, just as I was getting ready to go live, so I didn't manage to add it there. But it definitely was a New South Wales government announcement. They're trying to put them in at all the tourist spots, so that'll be interesting to see how that plays out. We know that there's rumours of a new supercharger site at the Big Banana from Tesla. I think that was one of the ones they talked about. Yeah, that's right. That northern route there, that they definitely need some more love. Mackay will be definitely a good stop there. Again, those Queensland Superhighway, whatever they call it, electric highway, they're just not reliable enough, and you don't have the backup that you do with the larger sites.
Jules, that picture with the red Model Y being towed by the Cybertruck, was that taken in New York?
It might be, I think. Yeah, I think it was.
That's very close to where the Tesla showroom is in New York. And there's also, literally around the corner, there's a Lucid showroom and so on. And that's where I was walking only a few months ago. It just looked familiar, that was all.
Yeah.
I could be wrong.
I'm pretty sure that was. All right. So other news, we've had another station open up in the Vegas Loop in Las Vegas. Be good to see them actually go full FSD in that loop.
Yeah, would.
Especially if they go driverless as well. As far as some software information, so Tesla app updates on X have given us some more information. That there's a Tesla Watch app being worked on. The reverse actual smart summon is they've dug through the code for the app and seen information there on the reverse smart summon actually being in the app, and some updates to the SDK there. As far
just before you go on, Jules, sorry, I've got to go. So I just like to say goodbye, everybody. You've just got 3 things to do, those that are watching. Don't forget, click on Jules's like and subscribe buttons below. And the third thing you've got to do is go over to my channel and subscribe. Yeah.
Please do. Thanks very much for your time, Grumpy. Really appreciate it.
Oh, look, that's great. Thank you for inviting me on. Really appreciate it. Okay.
No, thanks very much.
Goodbye, everybody.
So I'm just going through the comments here. Oh, interesting. I remember seeing the old the free ones there. Didn't realise they'd replaced them. Okay. 80 cents per kilowatt. Yeah, that's pretty pricey. Thanks for that, Kylie. I'm sure he'll be happy with that. He's picked up a few subscribers tonight, which is great. That's exactly what the plan was. Thanks for coming, Ethan. No worries at all. All right, so yeah, I've got a couple more slides to go. Just some more software information. We've got 2024.33.25, which is rolling out in the US with FSD version 12.5.6.1. For those of us not blessed to be in countries with full FSD supervised, the 2024.38.2 has been rolling out, and I received that earlier this week. I haven't noticed any massive improvements. There are a few bits and pieces in the release notes, but quite often with these, when you get a new branch like that and they haven't got many, significant visible improvements, there might be stuff in the background that is waiting on approvals or something like that. So I'll have to wait and see what comes with the new versions. So at the moment, we're sitting on about 70% of vehicles on the 32 branch, and the new .38 branch is just over 15%. Yeah, another good article actually. It was a fair article talking about this myth that electric vehicles are increase the average mass of cars on the road. It goes ahead and debunks that, which is good to see. As we all know, I won't dwell on that one too much. We all know it's another myth. But certainly some electric vehicles are heavier than others. But as far as Tesla goes, I know it's within about within 100 kilograms of the car it placed in my case. And most people say the same sort of things. And another big mega pack construction. This is Puerto Rico, a $225 million mega pack contract for 430 megawatts of energy storage. It's another big win for Tesla. Another interesting article talking about the amount spent on subsidising fossil fuel. I know it's always a bit of a controversial topic about subsidies for EVs, and as far as I'm concerned, I'm happy for them to remove subsidies for EVs, but they should remove it for the fossil fuel industry as well. People don't realise how much subsidies go into the fossil fuel industry. Not to mention bailouts for the sort of legacy auto vehicles and that kind of stuff. But I think if they want a level playing field, that's fine. But make it actually a level playing field, not just take away the EV subsidies. Yeah, exactly. And even we compare a Tesla Model 3 to, say, a Camry or something like that, or a Model Y to RAV4, the weights in them are very similar. I know I've said before that there's certain vehicle makers, especially some of the legacy auto vehicles, that put these massive battery packs into their vehicles to try and match the range of the Tesla, but they can't match the efficiency, so they put in 100 kilowatt batteries in there. Those weights definitely do increase. But if you look at the majority of EVs, the Teslas, the BYDs even, the weights aren't any higher than the standard cars that they'll replace. Yeah, that's right. And look, if they need these sort of cars, that's fine, but it is a bit ridiculous to make that sort of argument. Yeah, that's right. It's definitely a game at the moment that the fossil fuel industry, Legacy Auto as well, are doing everything they can to try and cling on as long as they can. That's where a lot of this negative media comes from. They've got the dollars to be able to try and sway people using false reports. And look, the billions of dollars they can make every month they delay the inevitable. It certainly pays off. Yeah, look, the ute market is definitely something that we need to address. That's something that is definitely missing in Australia. The Shark, I understand, is a hybrid, so it's not. Look, it's seen as a stepping stone towards EVs, especially for those people who have the range anxiety and that kind of thing. So I can see some benefit in it. I just don't know. The whole hybrid thing is just a way of trying to delay the inevitable again, because sorry, I was going to have a drink of water. Sorry, voice is going a bit there. Yeah, look, the hybrid thing, it keeps that servicing requirements and actually increases the complexity in the vehicle rather than dramatically reducing it like you get in an EV. So a lot of these legacy makers are definitely desperately clinging onto hybrids in an effort to try and delay people going EV. Obviously, their whole profit centers are for the dealerships, that kind of stuff is all through servicing, not through sales of the car as much. So they really want to try and cling on to that locking the customer in. But look, it's a good first step. I'd like to see some more electric. I would love to see the Rivians out here. Obviously, the Cybertruck's another option, but a very big vehicle too. So I don't know. But yeah, look, it's good. Like long way of saying it is good to see. Yeah, that's right. And yeah, that whole locking into a servicing regime. Yeah, look, I personally, my personal views on hybrids is that they saw their day 6-7 years ago before Tesla really started to show that EVs were perfectly good cars. Until before EVs were really able to be made properly and made to be a good car, EVs made sense. But today it's just not worth it. It's adding complexity. You're either dragging around a battery that you're not using, or you're dragging around a engine that is just adding weight for no reason. You've got all the extra complexity, all the extra service requirements. Yeah. Yeah, it should definitely sell well. Utes obviously very popular in Australia, so it's great to see. It's better than nothing. I would just love to see some more full EV options in that market. Exactly right. Yeah. So that's why I definitely say it's a good thing. Yeah. So the sodium-ion batteries have been talked about for quite a while. we just hear so many different technologies and stuff being bandied about as far as batteries go, and most of them don't see the light of day. So I definitely will be interested once they achieve, manufacturing some high quantity manufacturing of them. It's definitely a very promising area. Definitely, the LFPs obviously improve things quite a bit as far as the materials used and safety, that kind of stuff. But sodium-ion will definitely be another step above that again. So, be definitely interested to see that. But Tom, if you're still around, hit me up during the week, and I'd love to hear more. I don't know if you want to come on channel at all, come on screen and talk about your trip to Adelaide. I'd love to hear more about that charging experience through that central route. Or if you just want to comment next week, we can have a bit of a chat about it. If you don't want to be on camera, that's fine. We can just do it on chat. If you're around next week, I'd definitely love to talk about that. Yeah, look, China is definitely took the lead, and they did the right things, investing very early and very heavily into batteries. The 4680 is groundbreaking, but like you say, China's still ahead. I don't know, if the 4680 will eventually pull ahead. It depends on what other technologies are, proven in the meantime. But they're definitely, China's done the right thing as far as EVs in general. The fact that they're now selling more EVs than ICE vehicles, they crossed over that this year. They've just done everything right. It's fantastic. Yeah, perfect, mate. So hit me up on email or X. My email link's in the channel description. I've also got the X account. You can be up there, whatever works for you, and we'll figure out how you want to do it. And I'd love to hear more about it. All right, guys. Hope you enjoyed that. It was good to have Grumpy on and get a different voice on here for a change. Unfortunately, not a different look. We both got the matching haircuts. But I hope you enjoyed that. And check out his content. He does some really good stuff. Like I said, that was one of the channels that helped me decide to go EV. He's got a really good no BS approach, and hopefully you enjoyed it. If you did, please hit that like, subscribe if you haven't already, and thanks, Hal. And look, check out his channel. Anyhow, guys, other than that, we'll see you next week, hopefully with another big news week with EVs. Got the City Motor Show coming up soon. Unfortunately, again, I can't make it, but I know a few of you guys are going to that, so enjoy. All right, guys, thank you. See you next time.